basketball.
Basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court, just like I'm looking on the microphone. So it's Dr. J and Moses Malone. I like slam dunks, so take me to the hoop. My favorite play is the alley oop. I like the pick and roll, I like the give and go, 'cause it's basketball. Mr. Curtis
Streaking down the middle. Oh, and Ola pass rises up. Here comes the hook. Yes, sir. Bill Russell comes up big again. Leary surveys the court. Makes his move to pull in for two. Dump it into West. Game 5
I
baseline.
used to go to dinner with Dick Girls, Tiny Pickens, Earl, Pearl, and Will. Rio and Jerry West play basketball, and it's very fast. Basketball has always been my thing. I like Magic Bird and Bernard King. And number 33, my man, Kurt Reed, is the center of my starting team. To the hoop.
It's NBA action on 2K Sports. Hi, everyone. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. And our good friend Doris. Burke will join us from the sideline. Thanks for tuning in. A quick check of our starting lineups. State Farm shows who will hit the floor first. First for the Kings. Thomas is out there with Thornton. And it's DeMarcus Cousins locking down the middle. He's a big part of that presence down low. Then it's Jimmer Fredette, and it's Evans in at the 4 spot. And then for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Kyrie Irving is out there with Anthony Parker. And filling the paint, the big man, Anderson Varejao. They utilize his abilities to maintain that presence under the rim. Then there's Antoine Jamison, and it's Thompson in at the 4 slot.
Just a disastrous season a year ago for the Cavaliers, losing LeBron James and then, of course, plummeting in the standings. And they really struggled at home, too. Just 12 wins total at Quicken Loans Arena.
So Cleveland will get the first possession. Evans picks him up. He feeds it to Irving. He's guarded by Cousins. Tries from the block. Verejao's shot is good. Back to the Cavs, Steve. Not exactly how they wanted to start off their new era without LeBron.
No question about it, Kevin. I mean, they got pummeled at home. That's never any fun. And even teams that know they aren't full of talent need to step up and at least play better at home, and it wasn't the case. And, you know, Varejao being hurt really impacted that home record. Now, he wouldn't have made a significant difference, but he would have made a difference if he was healthy.
You know who the Cavs played well against last year was the New York Knicks.
Well, there's always a team that a poor team plays well against. For some reason, the matchups are favorable, and they've got that team's number.
Let's send it over to Doris Burke, who caught up with head coach Keith Smart. Doris?
Kevin, even though these two teams have similar levels of success this season, Coach still feels like they have the upper hand going in. He told me we're stronger in the areas where it matters most, and I think you'll see that once this game unfolds. What he's referring to, we'll see as the game plays out, gentlemen.
All right, Doris, a hard game to predict, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, it really is, Kevin. I mean, game plan and strategy, I think, are going to be big factors in this one.
Yeah, this is a coaching duel when it comes down to it. The talent about even, assuming both teams are able to make some shots and get into a good groove. I think it just comes down to which team has the better game plan and which team executes.
On defense, the Kings.
You know, like most coaches, Byron Scott can be a bit of a taskmaster, but he doesn't micromanage a team, and players will have a fair amount of freedom in how they play under his leadership.
Back to Parker. Deflects the pass. Shot clock at 6. Irving offline with his 3. Here's Fredette. Clark, back to what you said about Coach Byron Scott. I think the players like the freedom they are allowed. Steve, I'm sure as a player you like that.
Well, every player wants to know that he can miss a shot or make a mistake and not get pulled from the game. And I think as long as there's an understanding between the coach and the player about what's expected of you, then that's fair, and you just adapt to whoever the coach is at that point.
Fires for 3. Cavaliers with the rebound. Feeds it to Thompson. And here we go. Jumps up, and he slams it home. Here's the replay on the Sprite Slam Cam.
The windmill finish. Now that's nasty. How do you do?
Finishes the play. Utter disregard for his own safety.
Look at his teammates. They're just shaking their heads. I mean, he must have told them to look out for that one. Now, he hasn't been able to make anything this quarter.
When you hear people talk to DeMarcus Cousins, they always talk about the talent, big body, skill, good feet, excellent hands. He has the potential to be a dominant big man.
They double him with Irving. Fredette kicks to Cousins. Fredette from outside, off the mark. Clark talking about the great skill level, Steve, of DeMarcus Cousins. I think some felt that Last season, he had a tendency to get too fancy, shooting outside shots, putting his ball handling to the test.
Yeah, I think the big thing with DeMarcus Cousins is to establish that inside game first and work on that low post game and his footwork. And if he can do that, then as a coach...
Whoa! Now that's just rubbing it in, fella.
Throwing it down with style.
These folks are not going to forget that one anytime soon.
Here's Irving. 1:15 left to play in the first quarter. Jamison left side. Over Thomas. Good from 11 feet out. Jamison's got 5 points so far. And the Kings with possession. Cousins dishes to Fredette. Parker gets called for the reach. That is his first foul of the game.
First personal foul, team's first.
Here's Evans. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. Picked up by Thompson. Evans outside. Verjao grabs the board. They play the clock right, Steve. They can go 2 for 1.
Yeah, just have to time it right. Make sure you work the clock correctly. You get 2 possessions out of this.
And that one's good. Parker. Here's Thomas. 35 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Here's Fredette. Evans with it. Just 5 to shoot. Thomas is called for the charge. That is his first foul of the game.
Good call there. He got his feet planted. He was definitely set.
Yeah, that's excellent anticipation, Steve. He got out in front and was able to set his feet and take the charge.
Coach is liking Clark what he's seeing from his offense.
And shoot, why wouldn't he? I mean, guys, they're filling it up with ease, executing, getting quality shots. I mean, this is fun to watch.
Yeah, this is like a clinic out there, guys. This is exactly how you attack a defense. Move the ball, sharp cuts, really a nice pace to their offense.
He got it up. Got it off in time, but it's no good. The basket's coming early and often in the first quarter. Cavaliers on top, leading by 5.
A lot of hard work being put in on the glass. This is a very physical team. They're doing a nice job in the paint.
Yeah, and I think they're doing a good job.
And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. Here's Williams.
Well, the Kings really struggled last year no matter where they played, but they did manage to win more games on the road than they did at home. That's kind of an interesting stat.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Well, guys, the Cavaliers got a lucky break in this year's NBA lottery. The owner of the team sent his son as a representative, and it paid dividends with the #1 pick and multiple picks in the top 10. After the season they had, maybe this was the luck they needed to turn things around. Guys?
And as always, Doris, thank you.
You know, as a native Buckeye, it was hard to watch the Cavs struggle as they did. I hope they get back on track this year.
Going back to the Kings, they were so bad at home that just to be mediocre on the road would get them more wins.
Yeah, it was really a strange thing to see, Kevin. The Kings struggled so mightily in Sacramento, but I think some of the rumors about whether the team was going to be there, what ownership was thinking, all of that had to play a role in the struggles at home. It once was one of the best buildings and atmospheres in the NBA, and that certainly has not been the case in recent years.
Another shot, and Irving with the basket on the assist by Verjao. Irving's got the first points up on the board here in the second quarter for the Cavs. Here's Cousins. Oh! Here's a second look with the Sprite Slam Cam.
You know, he may lack grace, but his length makes up for it. He can still throw it down now.
Well, you don't have to be a fantastic leaper when you're his size.
Well, it's too bad because with a little more athleticism, can you imagine how dangerous he'd be underneath the boards? DeMarcus Cousins from Mobile, Alabama, really played football more often than basketball as a kid, but finally fell in love with the game after junior high school and became that one-year wonder at Kentucky before moving on to the NBA.
Here's Williams. It's blocked. The Cavaliers leading by 7. And here's the fast break. Offensive rebound. The monster one-hand slam.
Well, I like the heart on display right there. I mean, fighting for that rebound and stuffing it back in, that's good work.
Yeah, well, that'll go over well with the head coach.
Yeah, sure will. I mean, it always does when you get it done on the offensive glass, because that's all about effort.
Steve, you just mentioned that DeMarcus Cousins transitioning as a kid from football to basketball. A lot of times with big men, it's, you know, Clark, the game chooses them. Everyone says, hey, you know, you're so tall, you should be playing basketball.
That is so true, and you oftentimes see bigger guys maybe not have the passion. Not the case with Cousins. I mean, he loves the game, plays with tremendous passion. It's a matter of him managing that passion appropriately that's going to determine how good he becomes.
Williams gets the bucket.
Guys, that's what he does. I mean, he excelled at getting to the rim.
And here we go with Kyrie Irving. 7 points in the game. Parker shoots the three, and it's rebounded by DeMarcus Cousins. Even numbers, 4 on 4. From 17 feet out, Fredette gets the bucket. Fredette's got 5 now. The Cavaliers leading by 7. Now Thompson. Deflected and stolen by Williams. For the finish, there's the block.
Turnover. Cleveland ball.
Here's Irving. They lead by 7.
And I think the big question going forward for Cleveland was, what's next? How do you move on from LeBron James leaving? And the answer for the Cavaliers, they're trying to build up their young talent base. They acquired a pick from the Clippers, so they had 2 lottery picks last summer, and they're trying to get better and build with their youth.
Williams in the post. The shot is off, and Cleveland will take it the other way.
Not his best quarter. I mean, the shots just haven't fallen for him.
Yeah, that just wasn't the way to tip off the post-LeBron era, Steve. You're right, with the kind of year they had. But you know what? Where they got their draft picks in the lottery, you can see they're really working to the future.
Well, they knew it was going to be extremely tough. I mean, you don't lose a transcendent player like LeBron James and expect things to be at the same level. I mean, but it was absolutely brutal. And they did find a couple. You mentioned the draft choices. So they've got some things to think about in a positive vein going forward.
So the Kings called timeout. They're first.
You know, when you think about the Kings finding a way to stay in Sacramento another year, a lot of that credit has to go to the city, their fans, some former players. How about the mayor of Sacramento, former NBA All-Star Kevin Johnson?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I hate to always take care of my pace. Could be divided into.
And the Cavaliers will go with a different look here. Erdan's checked in for Verajak. Luke Herringold, he comes in for Thompson. Caspi, he's checked in for Antoine Jameson. And Manny Harris subs in for Irving. Francisco Garcia, he's checked in for Sacramento. Thomas comes in for Terrence Williams. Evans passes to Cousins. Fredette misses the three. Yeah, Kevin Johnson, you're right, Clark. He was a terrific leader in the NBA. He's been a terrific leader in Northern California. Steve, if there's one guy that can push this through, it's probably KJ.
Yeah, they still need a long-term stadium solution, Kevin, in Sacramento, but give Kevin Johnson credit, and also the Sacramento Kings organization for figuring out a way to keep them in the city for the time being, and let's hope they can find a long-term solution.
Moving the ball. 6 to shoot. Shot by Evans. And then Cousins with the dunk. Cousins has got 5 points in the quarter. Here's Harris. 30 seconds left in the first half of the game. Erdan kicks to Herringody. The Cavaliers again can't hit. The Kings trail by 6.
Good idea. Hold on to the ball. Take the last shot of the quarter.
Yep.
From past the arc, out of bounds. They'll keep possession. Here's Garcia. Outside Thomas. Dishes to Evans. They get a hand on it. Here's the break. Jumps up. And we've reached halftime in this one. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Quicken Loans Arena.
Thanks so much for lending us some of your Thursday to take in all the glorious NBA action. Now let's get you to the HP Halftime Report. The Cleveland Cavaliers ahead against Sacramento. They've been all over the offensive glass, pure hustle from start to finish. Kyrie Irving certainly contributing with his play. He's got 9 points and also sharing it around with a few assists. And still in it, the Kings hanging around. They've been getting pounded on the glass, just not bringing the aggression, the physicality needed to get the job done. A slow go so far for Terrence Williams. His shot has been AWOL lately, still on the run in this one. No doubt the focus so far, these two players have led the charge in scoring for their teams. Plenty of offense for both in the first half. Thanks for joining us. We'll get you back now to Quicken Loans Arena.
Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far. Here's Fredette. Thomas kicks to Garcia, and that one's good. Garcia's got the first bucket of the third here for the Kings.
You know, if their plan was to keep going inside a ton, it sure has paid off. I mean, it seems like every bucket they get is in the lane.
Well, no reason to take an outside shot if you're scoring at will from inside the paint.
And it's Irving missing.
And what a season Jimmer Fredette had last year for BYU. Led his team to the Sweet 16. A lot of people compare him to Steph Curry because of his ability to get his shot off anytime, anywhere. He's got good passing skills as well.
Tell you what, guys, you got to appreciate the way he goes after those offensive rebounds. It's something to watch.
And the strength, Steve, the strength he is on those putbacks is something to see.
Well, and we got to witness both of those attributes right there on that play.
And, Steve, you talk about Jimmer Fredette's shooting ability. Clark, I know you've seen him a little bit this season in the NBA. You saw him up close in a game you broadcast last year. It seems like his range is unlimited.
We call it in the gym range.
Yeah.
That's what Jimmer has, in the gym range. And that's not going to change. What you have to wonder about is how does he deal with having to defend? Can he play off the ball a little bit? And I think he's a lot tougher. I think that's going to surprise some people. He's a pretty physical guy for somebody of his size. Yeah,
right,
he's not a big guy, but I think he's got an edge and a toughness to him that'll serve him well as he plays in the NBA.
Well, people certainly know who he is. I mean, they talked a lot about him last year in college ball.
Yeah, his brand is out there.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now, here is Irving, guarded by Garcia. And that one's good, Irving.
Man, he continues to rack up the numbers.
Guys, I tell you what, this is as well-rounded a game as you'll see.
And it's Evans missing.
That's exactly where they wanted to go with the ball, even though he didn't finish.
The Cavaliers leading by 7.
Yep, I think it's pretty clear the higher you get, the harder the fall is to the bottom, and the Cavs found that out last year as they tried to rebuild, and it was as unpleasant as a season could be.
And that steal really triggered the fast break. Nice play.
Hey, you're right, and the break itself may have been even better.
Very poor shot selection there, guys.
Top to bottom, no pun intended, it was horrible for the Cavs. First time the team goes from the best record to the worst record in a year. Steve, that's a dubious distinction.
Well, we all know why it happened. I mean, it's based on one man, LeBron James. So talented, such a great player. Once he was gone, basically the entire foundation fell apart for Cleveland. So we'll see what happens as they attempt to rebuild without their star.
Fredette dishes to Cousins. Thompson gets whistled for blocking. That's foul number 2 for him.
That's such a tough call to make as a ref, but I think he got it right. The defender was not set.
Yeah, I thought he was leaning as well, Steve.
Here's Cousins. He's got 9. Here's Evans. Sacramento again missing. And they're on the break. Here's Verajao. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Well, last year in the West, Sacramento had the worst record against the East than any team in the Western Conference. So 9-21, they really struggled.
So he gets them both. Back to the Kings overall, you know, Steve, as you said, 9-21 against the East. They were getting trounced outside Clark, the Western Conference.
Yeah, they're a young team, though, and they'll figure it out eventually. I mean, they've got some decent young talent there, Kevin. I think they've got the ingredients now. It's a matter of growth and development, and as we've said many times, that takes time.
The three. Cavaliers with the rebound. Irving's got his 4th rebound in this one. Goes up. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. It goes on Jimmer Fredette.
You know, I think Kyrie Irving already has an NBA-ready game. I mean, you see it already. He can shoot at the NBA level. Nice jump shot. Pretty reliable and stronger than he looks.
And so he's able to get 1 of 2. Going back to Kyrie Irving, you mentioned his outside shot. Last year, Steve, at Duke, 46% from beyond the arc.
That's a great percentage for anybody, but particularly for a freshman, Kevin, to come in his first year and to shoot that well. And you know, what I like about him, too, is shooting is not even the best part of his game. He's a penetrator, a distributor, a facilitator. He's got a chance to be an excellent all-around player.
The Kings trail by 12. Stolen by Verejao. Here's Jamison. They grab their own miss. Here's Thompson. Verejao passes to Thompson. Moving the ball well. And another shot. Drained for 2 points. Verejao's got 6 points in the quarter.
Very well.
And he puts it down with authority. Sprite slam cam for another angle.
There isn't anybody in the building that didn't appreciate that throwdown.
Well, Steve, that's as fancy a finish as you could possibly get.
Serious degree of difficulty on that one.
He kicks it to Jamison. Shoots a fader. That's good. Jamison's got 9.
What a marvelous job they've done of sharing the basketball. A ton of assists.
Well, they know where each other is all the time. They're moving the ball, just finding the open guy. Nobody seems to care who scores. And you hope that's a sign that things are going to change, because it's been a struggle for him to this point.
And here is Irving. 15 points in the game. Guarded by Garcia. Up with it. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
That's good defense. Don't let a guy get a lay-in, foul hard, and send him to the free throw line.
Yeah, I like that billboard there. Sending a message. You can't come in here and get anything free in our paint.
7 seconds left in the 3rd quarter of the game. It'll count. That misses. Would have counted had it gone in. And as we end the 3rd quarter, a double-digit deficit. So as we get rolling here in the 4th, let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, for the Sprite Spark Report. Doris?
Hi, guys. Well, it was the stretch by the Cavaliers that garners the Sprite Spark today. It's been defense, defense, and more defense all game as they keep adding to their lead. This kind of defensive pressure is exactly what they've been looking for, and it's worked wonders so far.
Thank you, Doris. Everything really clicked for them, Clark, during that run.
Yeah, it sure did. I mean, it ignited them offensively.
To the point, Clark, where they were really in complete control at that end of the floor.
He's been doing a nice job taking care of the ball. Not many miscues from him in this one. That's his only turnover.
The Kings trail by 17. And it's Evans missing. Cleveland with the ball. 17-point game. On deep. Rebound, Evans.
I don't mind that shot, though. He's an excellent three-point shooter. He's just showing a lot of confidence there.
I'm right with you there, Steve. I mean, let it flow when you're feeling it.
Here's Irving. Parker left side. Got a piece of it. Verejao can't hit. Here comes Tyreke Evans. Wing shot on the way. And Williams gets it to go on the assist by Evans. Evans has got 5 assists in the game. The Cavaliers leading by 13. The Cavaliers again can't hit. Even numbers, 4-on-4. Lets the three fly. Thompson with the rebound. Thompson's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Irving. The Cavaliers again can't hit. Here's Williams. Feeds it to Evans. Fredette from outside the arc. Thompson's got 6 rebounds in the game. Now, here is Irving. Guarded closer. They get it back. Here's Verajao. Well, it was only a matter of time, but they finally get the bucket.
How about the energy he puts into crashing the boards, guys?
Excellent anticipation. As soon as that pass was in the air, he was on the move and picked it off.
That's going to be over and back. Not watching for the line that time.
Look at the turnover situation, guys, and it's not been that bad. Just a handful, and when you take care of the ball like that, that can help you build a lead.
18 feet away. Gets it to go. Cousins has got 4 this quarter.
You know, that part of the floor, guys, is more or less his real sweet spot, right in his wheelhouse.
Parker kicks to Thompson. And some very quick points for him on that possession. And the Cavaliers lead by 15. 13 feet out. And Williams gets it to go on the assist by Evans. And here comes Irving. Thompson dishes to Jamison. Evans picks him up. Got it. Good job in the low post. And that's 11 points for Jamison.
You know, when there's little or no D on this guy and he's headed to the rim, just chalk it up and go on. You know, you get better elevation with the one-hand dunk, and it's the most basic of all. Keep it simple.
And probably the most reliable.
Yeah, hard to mess that one up.
And it's Irving missing.
It's been a struggle for him offensively tonight, and they'd love to have his production out there.
Fredette can't hit. The Cavaliers leading by 13. Now, here is Irving. Williams picks him up. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
Kyrie Irving, a graduate of St. Patrick High School in New Jersey, a school that also produced Eric Character, Samuel Dalembert, and Al Harrington. He spent just 1 season at Duke and now a top NBA draft pick.
Good on the second free throw. And Kyrie Irving last season at Duke, as we all know, got injured 8 games into the season. Finally went back and played well in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that injury was an injury to the ligament in his big toe, but got a clean bill of health, and that injury certainly doesn't seem to have hurt his draft stock very much, has it?
No, not at all.
And they add to this lead, trying to close this game out.
I think it would take a lot of luck and maybe then some. I mean, might be time to pack this thing in.
Garcia passes to Williams. Kicks it to Fredette. Takes a 3. And a rebound goes to the Cavaliers.
Well, they say control the glass, control the game. They're definitely controlling the glass.
Yeah, I agree with that, and that's been the case here tonight. Big lead they're enjoying on the glass.
Obvious miscommunication between teammates that time.
Cavaliers ball.
The Cavaliers leading by 19 points.
Boy, they have forced a lot of turnovers, and it seems to be having a snowball effect.
He's picked up by Irving. From deep three-point range. Offensive rebound. Fires from deep. No good.
Not sure if he just ran out of gas or what, Kevin, but he's been awful ever since the second half started. Not even been a factor. Boy, most games he can knock it down from deep, but it just isn't there for him in this one.
Evans kicks to Cousins. They're moving the ball. Fredette can't hit.
He'd like to start this quarter over, I'm sure.
No rhythm, Steve, at all. He just can't seem to find it.
Well, Cleveland's season actually started out pretty well last year after losing LeBron James. They were about 500 a month into the year, but then things just went south, and they had that horrific losing streak.
And he can't hit the second. Well, Steve, going back to that streak, 26 losses in a row spanning December to February. That had to just be a death march.
Man, I'm telling you, and it wasn't like any of those losses. I mean, all those losses were nail-biters. I mean, the vast majority of those losses in that 26-game losing streak were NC,
right.
No contest.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, teams were just taking aim and beating them down.
And Cleveland has possession after Jimmer Fredette hit the 3. From deep, the shot is off. That will count. Irving, no good there. So we see the Cavaliers taking the win here. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night, and these guys might want to watch the tape of this game the next time they have a bad night to remind themselves how dominant they can be.
Well, this is one of those dreamlike games for a coach.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Stephen Doris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan Player of the Game, Kyrie Irving.